Hi friends, welcome to the webinar. I can see a lot of the students have already joined in. I'm going to wait for another half a minute here to give chance to others to join. Thank you everybody for joining on time. And I can see a large number of students already in. Thank you so much for being on time. Last for 20 seconds here. And by the way, this is Bhavdeep Singh. I live in Chandigarh, and some of you have already taken classes or webinars with me. Can you let me know in the chat box, have you taken classes or webinar with me, or completely new student here? Okay. I see a mix of responses here. Like some students have taken classes, some of you are pretty new. So I would take like few seconds to introduce myself. My name is Bhavdeep Singh. I live in Chandigarh here. I did my master's in technology from IIT Bombay in 1998. Most of you were not born that time. So I was working for 15 years roughly, and then I decided to go full time with teaching. I was teaching part time before that because I always had a passion for teaching. So past 5 years I've been a full time teacher here. I've shaped thousands of successful careers. I love physics, love kids, and love to teach physics to kids, and that's why you and I are sitting right here. So enough of bragging about me. Let's get started with my mission. Make my student fall in love with physics. So make classes interesting so that everybody starts loving physics. So today's agenda is 100% marks in CBSE exam. So we are going to divide this into two parts. One is the preparation tips, as in what should you do before the exam, like in the month of the exam or the week of the exam or the day of the exam. And then at the end of that, we are going to tell you the tips about how to write the exam answers. So exam hall tips. So basically divided into two parts. One is preparation tips, as in how do you go to that journey, on the journey rather I would say, and how do you do the last mile over there. So I would divide your preparation into 4 stages. Stage number 1, I would say long before exam. That's where we are right now, right? So enough time to prepare. We are few weeks or months away from the exam. What should be the strategy right now? Then stage 2 is during the week of the exam. Then we are going closer and closer, and the day prior to the exam. Kal exam hai, aaj kya karna hai? And the last one is what should you do during the exam day? What should be your strategy? What should you do or not do? So basically we're focusing on what to do as well as what not to do during these stages. So let's pick one by one. Stage number 1, long before exam. And by the way, this is going to be 30 to 40 minutes of webinar. It's going to be a good investment of your time. So stay tuned here until the end of it. You are going to take useful information here. You're going to thank yourself that you spent 30 to 40 minutes over here. Stage 1, that's more like I would say the gear right now is hard work, right? So you are in a gear where you have to really work hard. The key tips here I would give you is, first of all, you have to get familiar with the curriculum. Many students start studying immediately after they receive the books. First thing you have to do is get familiar with, get the overall big picture. Like electricity padna hai, magnetism padna hai, optics padna hai, and also look at the marks distribution. What kind of questions are asked, short answer type, long answer type. Also, what kind of like what is the breakup, as in optics se light se kitna aata. I'm not going to talk about that, but because there is enough information available, and I'm pretty sure you have already gone through that. But if you have not gone through that, that is your number one thing to do right now. Immediately after the webinar, go through the marks distribution. Like sources of energy, it's a big lengthy topic, many things to memorize, but how many marks are coming from that topic? NCERT books, I mean, many students don't like them because they're basic over there. They say that the level is very low for competitive exams and all that. I highly recommend these books. So CD chadni hai, the pehle CD chadenge, then step 2, step 3, step 4, right? So I would really recommend you master the NCERT books, the theory of it, and all the questions in the back exercises. The bad part is, or the unfortunately, if you go to internet, there are free solutions available right now. They were not during my days, but now if you Google, you get all the free solutions. If you're referring to those, you're not learning anything. So you have to study NCERT theory. You have to be able to solve all the NCERT questions without any help. नहीं होता तो छोड़ दो, try it some other day. ठीक है? Now, once you have done NCRT, then you feel free to go to one of the foundation level books. I mean, see, 10th and 12th curriculum is same, but there is a big jump in curriculum because 10th is everybody has to study physics. When you come to 11th and 12th, it's assumed that you love the subject and that's why you're studying that. So there is a big, I mean, you can see the thickness of the books sitting right here. They are really heavy books. Right, so there is a big difference in the curriculum for 10th and 12th. So when you study electricity in 10th versus 12th, there is a big jump, but then in order to fill the gap, you might go for foundation level books, Diksha publication, MTG or whatever. But NCERT has to be your number one priority. Once you master that, go ahead and do the foundation level. You got to maintain your regular schedule during this time when you still have time to for the exam. You're, let's say, 2 months for the exam to go. Maintain a schedule may be rigorous, as in saying 7 to 7:30 do this, 7:30 to 8 do this, but it can be a flexible kind of. Basically, everybody is different. Some students love, I mean, they can stick to the schedules, other cannot. So for those students, I would recommend just make a loose kind of schedule. Every day I have to study 3 hours, let's say. Now it can vary. I mean, आज सुबह पढ़ने का मन है, सुबह पढ़ लिया, आज शाम को पढ़ने का मन है, शाम को पढ़ लिया. But I would still say your body and mind, they love some kind of schedule in there. ऐसा नहीं कि जब मर्जी पढ़ लिया, but you make a schedule, maybe a tight schedule or a loose schedule, but make a schedule. Very important, you will have to have some time to play or some kind of recreation over there. 24/7, if you're going to study, your mind is going to be tired, efficiency reduces. Now that recreation can be anything: playing, gossiping with friends, helping your mother in kitchen, helping your father do chores, or gardening, or play football, anything, something that is not related to your 10th exam right now. One last tip I would give here is set a goal and set a reward for yourself. कि भाई मेरे 99% आ गए, then I'm going to do this, and this is not a reward that you say, tell your parents कि भाई आ गए तो give me a high cost mobile phone or something. It's not like those kind of rewards I'm talking about. Reward yourself, anything that you love to do. Maybe आ गए तो I'll just sleep for 10 hours a day. For next 1 week, I'm going to sleep 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Those kind of rewards that you can yourself do, but those are achievable also. Those are going to motivate you to work hard. This is the stage where you are going to work hard. And as I will tell you in subsequent stages, your hard work has to reduce to the low work now. So you are in a stage where you really have to work hard, but as the exam approaches, you have to slow down on your studies. So this stage, you really have to motivate yourself, whatever it takes. Stage number 2, I would say, is a week before exam. So I'm really sorry for the spelling mistake over there. So this is, remember that gear was hard work. Now we are in a gear where it's more like familiarity. So I would rather say you're driving a car, you have different gears over here. Initially you had hard work, you were in a mode of hard work. Now you have to talk about familiarity. Exam kaisa aayega? So in this, let's just, exam is next week. First of all, you have to switch to the revision mode. It's not like you are, अरे optics में ये तो किया ही नहीं मैंने, human है पढ़ा ही नहीं है. You should not be in the mode where you are saying you have not done a particular section. Syllabus has to be completed much before that. And when I say switch to revision mode, this is not the first revision. You have to do multiple revisions. So एक महीने पहले तक you might have done everything and you have already revised everything. This may be your second round of revision or third round, but this is purely revision mode. There has to be no study going on right now. You have to be practicing sample papers and past year papers, and this goes hand in hand with getting familiarity. You are trying to get familiar कि भाई what is the kind of questions I'm going to get? Will I be able to finish that in the given time? What are the type of questions? Short answer, very short answer, long answer, and all that. You have to get familiar with that. And this goes with when you solve some sample papers or take previous year question papers and try to solve them. Set a clock with you. So just set a timer on that. कि भाई 3 घंटे का timer लगा लिया, मेरे को ये खत्म करना है. Just simulate that thing, as in you are not getting up from there for that duration. You have your water bottle with you, you have everything there, nobody is disturbing you, pen rakh li, extra pen rakh li, everything. Simulate the exam environment there. Now you should also, if possible, I mean, I would try to say you should make it possible, visit the exam center. Because if on the day of the exam you're visiting the center for the first time, there is a kind of unfamiliarity, kind of uncertainty, something going on. नहीं तो वो नहीं हुआ तो ट्रैफिक में फंस गए, पता ही नहीं, डायरेक्शंस ही नहीं पता जाना कैसे, you're looking for the school that is your exam center, you're going to ask the direction somebody, and that creates a panic at the last moment. So visiting the exam center before the exam is actually going to help you two ways. One of them is you're not going to panic because of delay in reaching there on the exam day, right? Secondly, it also goes with familiarity. वहाँ जाओ बैठो, sit down for 15 minutes, maybe just sit down there, get familiar with the environment there. Just sit down, do nothing there. Just sit down and get to see the place there. Now, very important, as I said, this is like the week of the exam, and many students go, okay, भाई अब फुटबॉल खेल तो मैं खेलूंगा ही नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. You can reduce, but do not eliminate your play time. Play doesn't mean like playing football. Play means your recreation thing that you were doing. Helping your mother, अभी पहले थोड़ा करते थे, अभी reduce that. I mean, just reduce, but do not eliminate your playtime. Playtime as in your recreation time. Your mind needs a break. Even during the week of the exam, नहीं syllabus हो पाया, that's fine. 15 minutes break, maybe half an hour break, whatever is possible, you got to have a break. Very, very important. Let's go to gear number 3. So first gear was hard work. Second is week of the exam. That's what we are talking about right now. Next Monday ko exam hai. Today is Monday, Tuesday, whatever. And then you're going to get familiar with what you're going to face next week in the exam. Stage 3, day prior to exam. Tomorrow morning is the exam. So this is, you should be in a gear where you're really calm down, relax, no panic over there. You should not be learning any new concept as of now. Scattering of light नहीं पढ़ा, that's all right. Do not read it now. करना है तो चलो 5-7 मिनट के लिए फटाफट familiarity के लिए कर लिया कि एकदम से कुछ आ गया तो at least I can write it in my own words. But you should not be learning any new concept. The reason for that is you are at a point where exam is less than 24 hours from now. Let's say you start studying human eye. You have not even done that. You will not be able to complete it, and that creates a really big panic right now. क्योंकि तुम गलती करोगे फटाफट न्यूमेरिकल्स, you're going to waste your time. Rather spend your time more into like last minute जो revision है, थोड़ा बहुत getting more familiar with the, करना है थोड़ा कर लो, but at least as long as it doesn't create a panic for you, you should not. You can learn a new concept. You know yourself more than I do, right? So if that you think reading a new concept right now is going to create a panic, do not do that. If you think you can still handle it, you can do that. So it's completely up to you. Otherwise, रह गया तो रह गया, take a chance over there. But I would say you should not be in this situation anyways, because you should have completed your syllabus 1.5 months before the exam. You should be in the revision mode right now. Multiple revisions should be done by now. So this point should not even be thought about. Okay. The next point I would say is like, see, कल exam है, right? That's kind of like really kind of oh, कल exam है, board का exam है. This really creates a big kind of like क्या यार कल बहुत बड़ा, it's a big deal. Don't make a big deal about it. Because if you make a big deal about it, your mind thinks, okay, it's a big deal and there is a pressure going on and their friends and family, okay, कल board का exam है, क्या करोगे क्या? अरे नहीं यार, don't even talk to them if those are the kind of friends and family members you have. Don't even talk about it. Just chill, don't talk about the exam, do a last minute revision if you have to. Maintain the schedule that you had been maintaining for past few days. Do not change anything कि भाई मैं अभी तक 5 hours a day you were studying, आज मैं यार 15 घंटे पढ़ूंगा. No, you should not be doing that. You should actually do as if like it's just another day coming tomorrow. Don't make a big deal about it, please. And tell your family members, tell your friends, hey, please do not talk to me about tomorrow exam. I'm going to rock anyways. I'm going to tell you after the exam what happened. Don't talk to me right now. Very important, prioritize your sleep over revision. Many students and some of my students also, they study up to 3 o'clock in the morning. आज तो करके रहूंगा मैं, 3 बजे तक सुबह पढ़ा, and then you wake up 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then नहीं मेरे में stamina. Many students say I have a stamina, I can study up to 3 o'clock in the night, then wake up at 6 o'clock, go to the exam and write it. You think you have, but after all you are a human being, human body and mind basically, not just the body. Body में stamina होगा, doesn't matter, but your mind has to be sleeping for few number of hours before it can be really efficient and effectively writing in the exam tomorrow. So you might think मैं तो सुबह उठ के कसरत कर ली, exercise कर ली, I'm seriously like I have so much of stamina. That's not the stamina we are talking about. We are talking about the stamina of your brain. Your brain has to be sleeping for certain amount of hours, which your body decides. I mean, depending on your sleep pattern every day. Do not change your sleep pattern. कि भाई कल exam है, I will study extra today. Sleep is more important right now, because क्या होगा ना, if your mind is relaxed, even if say something out of the blues comes in the exam, कुछ आप पढ़ा ही नहीं था उसका, by common sense, by intuition, and especially in the case of physics, other subjects I cannot say, because in history, if you do not know the fact, you do not know it, right? In civics, if you do not know the fact, maybe you know it or you do not know it, because even in civics, if you're a regular reader of a newspaper, maybe some of the answers you will still be writing. Let's say, right? So some subjects you can write by common sense, intuition, or your day-to-day observation or reading around and all that. So you can still write it. But for that, and especially in physics, many things you may not have studied, but you know from your day-to-day observation and all that. But in order for your brain to do that, your brain has to be really calm down, relaxed, and really in a full efficiency mode. Prioritize your sleep before revision. If you had been sleeping 10 o'clock every day, make a habit to sleep at 10 o'clock. And before sleep, do not study, like at least for half an hour before the sleep. नहीं तो वो anxiety जो है ना, that keeps on building. And it never, sorry, there was a screensaver over there. So try to sleep as many hours as you had been sleeping. Okay. So gear number one, stage number one was your hard work when you were in few weeks or months down the line to your exam. Stage number two was your a week in the exam, and then you have to be really like calm down a little, and even during the day prior to the exam, you really have to be calm down, really relaxed. You as in your brain actually. So let's go to gear number four, stage four, the exam day, the big day, the day you have been waiting for. Your family members, your friends, and everybody, your neighbors had been waiting for कि बेटा जाएगा कुछ करके दिखाएगा. So this gear is just do it. You just have to perform that day, but then see, there are a few things that you have to really make sure on the day of the exam before you go. Again, like many students start studying, kabhi fatafat padh lo. If you can handle that, handle it. But when most of the students, I say, based on my personal experience, हो गया यार, you've already done what you could do. You have already studied what you could study. You have already got all the concepts in there. Concepts cannot be built in few hours or minutes. It's impossible. So you will not be able to build up any concept, and I'm purely speaking of physics. Maybe with other subjects you should be able to do that, but physics, if in the morning of the exam you're going to study, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're wasting your time and you're creating anxiety and pressure on your brain. So don't study anything, revise the formula sheet. And I forgot to talk about this in stage one, when you were few weeks or months down the exam, you should be creating a handwritten formula sheet, एक page पे. Just one piece of paper, write down Snell's law here, of electricity में resistances बना के and all that, some kind of visual formula sheet. Not like too much of writing on that, because if it is too much of writing, it's as good as you're reading the book. So visual kind of के resistors बना दिए series में, उसके आगे लिख दिया R1 plus R2, then parallel में बना दिया 1 by R equals 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So as visual as you can. ठीक है, one formula sheet, 1 or 2 pages, not more than that. So you should be just glancing through it. You're not going to rectify. Formulae don't have to be rectified. You basically, if you look at them every day, and I forgot to talk about this in stage one. So let's rewind to stage one. You should have prepared this and paste it somewhere in the wall or in front of your table, on the refrigerator, where you actually visit very often. Whenever you see that, spend 5 minutes. If not 5 minutes, then 2 minutes at least. Just visually see that. वो दिमाग में वैसे ही बैठ जाएंगे. So on the day of the exam, you're supposed to revise the formula sheet. Light breakfast is a must. Back in days, I mean, some people call it superstition. People used to eat curd and sugar before they went for the exam. Dahi chini kha ke jana. It was not a superstition. It was more like, okay, you're eating some light breakfast. Because what happens if you eat a heavy breakfast? All the oxygen and the blood in the body is going to be will be used to digest your food. But your brain needs all that oxygen and blood, right? So rather have a light breakfast which is easy to digest. भूखे भी नहीं जाना. Many students go खाली पेट के भाई नहीं यार वहां नींद आ जाएगी. If you're empty stomach, that is also not good. Some light breakfast, some light and healthy breakfast. Okay? Believe in yourself. You got to believe and keep saying to yourself, okay, I will do it. I will do it. Definitely, I will do it. इसमें इसमें there is nothing. I mean, you just have to say क्या है यार, what's the big deal? It's just an exam and I'm going to do it. It's not a big deal. You really have to keep saying to yourself, it's just another day for me. Don't make it take it as a make it or break it day. I understand 10th board exam is very important because based on these marks in the exam, you're going to get admitted to 11th grade subjects, right? So whatever stream you're choosing. It's really important. I'm not denying the fact this is one of the most important exams you're going to take in your life. But then don't by like don't take it as a make it or break it. नहीं हुआ तो it's end of the life. It's end of the journey. Journey कहीं नहीं खत्म होते. ऊपर वाले ने बहुत बड़ी journey दिया. There are going to be failures in the journey. Failures do not mean end of the journey. Take it that way. Give it your best. I'm not saying कि भाई छोड़ दो. Give it your best. But don't panic as if नहीं हुआ आज तो खत्म सब. नहीं खत्म कुछ नहीं. Life gives a second chance always. Now very important, the last point over here, please read everybody. Question paper is very difficult. Let's say तुम्हारे सामने question paper आ गया and it's really very difficult. Let's say अब क्या करोगे? ठीक है? सोचो सोचो, think about it. I'm getting the responses here. अब क्या करोगे? It's very difficult paper. Should we be happy about it or should we be panicking about it? सोचो. Especially in the competitive exam, boards may be important है, competitive exams में double important है कि if the question paper is difficult, you should actually feel happy about it. Don't call me crazy, just listen to me. I'll explain what I mean. Let's say question paper is easy. सबके लिए easy है, ठीक है? So सबके लिए question paper easy है, right? Most of the students are going to crack it. So you're not going to beat them. You can either match them or you will be below them. क्योंकि अगर तुमने गलती कर दी, if you make a mistake there, you will be below them. And if you don't make a mistake, you are at par with them, right? If the question paper was easy. But if the question paper is difficult, it's for everybody and everybody is going to perform a little lower. You have a chance, maybe with your extra concepts that you studied, maybe with extra common sense that you have on intuition or day-to-day observations, you can still crack those difficult questions. So think about that way positively. The question paper is difficult, everybody is going to perform low, so I still have a chance to show myself. So please be happy. Do not panic if the question paper is difficult. Very important here. So चार बातें हमने करी है. First of all, like long term क्या करना है, planning करनी है. Formula sheet, I'm repeating again and again. For physics, formula sheet is important as visual as you can. उसमें पूरा वो notes नहीं बना देना. It's not the notes thing I'm talking about. As I said, make two resistors in series, है ना? Write R is equal to R1 plus R2. Visual kind of. है ना? Convex lens बना दिया and then say okay when the object is here, image is here. Visually लिखना कुछ कम से कम है उसमें. Stage number 2 was during the week of the exam, try to reduce your play time, but still have the recreation time over there. But you should be in a full revision mode at that time. You should not be in a stage where you should not be leaving anything to be completed or studied in the last week. That should be your 100% revision mode there. Day before the exam, just relax, chill, whatever पढ़ लिया last minute revision थोड़ा बहुत कर लिया, maybe you find certain topics difficult, do them, that's fine. But ऐसा नहीं कि last day के लिए कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है first of all, और छोड़ भी दिया तो do not panic. Okay? Exam day you have to just do it, whatever it comes, you're going to crack it anyways, just believe in yourself. नहीं हो पाया तो it's not a make it or break it deal. हो जाएगा, नहीं होगा तो देखेंगे, we will do it somehow. ठीक है? So let's go further. एग्जाम हॉल टिप्स. अभी तक तो एग्जाम जाने वाले थे, एग्जाम हॉल में जब पेपर मिल गया, डिफिकल्ट है नहीं है हमने देख लिया. A few tips on that and these are going to really help you. Tip number 1, use proportionality as much as possible. अब इसमें क्या होता है ना, many students start like okay 100 watts का बल्ब है, 220 volts देना है. Just read the question everybody, just try to analyze this yourself. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to understand this question and I'm going to talk about it. By the way, पानी बहुत जरूरी है पढ़ाई के लिए. Your brain has to be hydrated to be working. इतना भी नहीं लेना कि you have to frequently visit washrooms, but then keep your brain hydrated. So look at this question. I am not writing. Usually I write a lot during my webinars. I am not writing anything, and I'll show you how you can do this question mentally. Obviously you have to write all the steps in the exam. It's a CBSE exam. You really have to write all the steps. But then I'm telling you, okay, you can do this mentally, and when you solve it with all those steps, you should be able to verify it. ठीक ठाक है. Many students start this question based on my experience. I'm saying they will rightly say, okay, when see there was a bulb, you were supposed to plug it into 220 volts. Now you're plugging into 110 volts. Resistance is going to be same, right? If you have studied enough of electricity, you know that resistance of the bulb will not change. Other things, voltage, current, power, everything will change, but the resistance is a property of that material, the length of the material, the thickness of the material, that has not changed. So R is equal to rho L by A. Rho is not changed, length is not changed, area is not changed, so resistance is not changing. So one way, the long way, is going to be find the resistance, use the resistance in the second step. But I'm saying, why even do that? You can do it mentally also. Power is equal to voltage times the current, right? Or you can say V square divided by R, or I square R. In this case, let's see which formula I'm going to use. Tell me, please tell me in the chat box over there. Yes. Very nice. Yes. Most of the students are saying V square by R, and that is right. The reason for that, first of all, resistance is not changing, so you have to pick a formula that resistance is involved in. So I'm down to two choices now. I'm not going to use VI, I'm going to use either I square R or V square by R. But then we are talking about voltages here. So then you say, okay, power is equal to V square by R. That's the formula I use. So power is equal to V square by R. R is a constant. So power is directly proportional to the voltage square. Voltage आधा कर दिया, the power 1/4 हो गई. खत्म कहानी यार, 25 watts. So these are the kind of proportionalities you have to use in numericals especially. ठीक है. Tip number 2. Read the question. Sorry for the typing error there. That's 10 to the power 8. Yeah, I was typing this and I made a mistake. My bad. It's 2.25 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second and 2 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second, and that is 60 degrees. I don't know, actually the PowerPoint is messing it up because I had changed that to superscript. So I changed it to superscript. When I'm doing the slideshow, somehow it is coming down. Yeah, I do remember I did that. Right. But anyways, do the work here. Just understand the question. Now, how long do you think you're going to take for this question? Okay, many students say 3 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, I don't know how you said 85 seconds, Rahul. I'm not sure, but that was kind of like, yeah, just a very good guess over there. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, many answers are coming in, and mostly students are saying 2 to 3 minutes, right? Or maybe 4 minutes also. Most of them are saying 4 minutes. Although many of them, not most of them. Read the question one more time. That's the tip here. Read question carefully. Read the question carefully. I'm telling you, you will get the answer in 2 seconds. No calculation needed. And you just have to spend some time explaining your thought process here, but you know the answer in 2 seconds after you read the question here. Read it properly. First of all, red color light, who the hell cares? Sorry for that language, but who cares? Red color, white, blue color, I don't care. There will be extra information given to you. You don't need that. Red color, so forget that. Light is traveling from water to glass. Water is a rarer medium, glass is a denser medium. And if you did not know that, it's given, the values are given here. Water may speed at 2.25, glass may speed at 2. So glass is the denser medium. Total internal reflection only happens when light travels from denser to rarer, my friends. Light is traveling rarer to denser here. There is no concept of total internal reflection. Many students, I would say most of the students, start calculating immediately. Okay, first let me find the mu of water, mu of glass, and I'll use the Snell's law or the formula for critical angle and then compare with 60 degrees because critical angle comes to this one. No, you don't do any calculation. All you do is give an explanation saying, in the given scenario, light is traveling from a rarer medium to a denser medium. And the total internal reflection will not happen no matter what the angle of incidence is. So this 60 degrees, the red color light, you don't really need this. You have to filter out. So point is, read the question carefully. Some of the questions you don't really have to calculate. They're trick questions. After you do those calculations, you will actually see that there is no total internal reflection happening here anyways. But I'm saying without calculation also you can make an argument here कि भाई rarer to denser है भाई. Okay? Or tips thickness. But these tips are really useful in your exam. So please take a note of them or rewind the video after this, and then you can never forget the units. Calculate कर लिया, इतना कुछ कर लिया, ये सब कर दिया, लिख दिया. Force is equal to 85.9. भाई 85.9 न्यूटन्स है, डाइन्स है कि तुम अपनी यूनिट्स बना रहे हो. टेल मी द यूनिट्स. You always have to give the units. Units have marks. And if I was personally creating these marking schemes, I would deduct more marks if units are not given. Because no units makes no sense in physics. A quantity without the units usually doesn't make sense. Some of the things like relative density, refractive index, they don't have a unit. That's all right. But I'm talking about the values where units exist, and you should never be forgetting to write them. इतनी मेहनत कर दी, लास्ट में यूनिट लिखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. रियली मेक ए नोट ऑफ दैट. नेक्स्ट स्टेप, यूज एसआई यूनिट्स अनलेस अदरवाइज स्टेटेड. सेंटीमीटर्स नहीं यूज करना, डायंस नहीं यूज करना unless the question says that use that, or maybe there's a proportionality kind of questions, that those questions you don't really care. If this is proportionality question, SI unit, दोनों में SI unit है, then you don't have to convert. दोनों में CGS है, then also you might not have to convert because you're comparing quantities there. But in most of the cases, stick to SI units. Next step, write to the point. 2 नंबर का क्वेश्चन है तो राइट अकॉर्डिंगली, उसमें ऐसे नहीं लिख देना. ठीक है. नोबडी इज लुकिंग फॉर अ स्टोरी फॉर 2 मार्क क्वेश्चन. Equally, like 5 mark का क्वेश्चन है and then you write 1 line answer, that doesn't go well. So you have to write to the point, not more, not less. Very important है, work on the scoring questions first. उससे 2 फायदे हैं. एक तो ये, जैसे let's see you're strong in refractive index kind of questions, numerical especially, let's say. कर दो फटाफट, because first of all your mind is fresh and you're going to do it faster. That gives you confidence. ठीक है. जैसे इतने क्वेश्चंस हैं, मैंने फटाफट से स्कोरिंग वाले कर लिए जो मैं कर सकता था, उससे मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड हुआ, एंड दैट्स गोइंग टू हेल्प यू बूस्ट योर कॉन्फिडेंस फॉर द डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस. तुम्हें पता चल गया कि यू आर गोइंग टू स्कोर दिस मच एटलीस्ट अप टू नाउ यू आर एडिंग टू दैट. Secondly, क्या होगा ना, स्कोरिंग क्वेश्चंस में, if you are running short on time at the last moment, especially the numericals, you might make some, in the panic mode, you're going to make some calculation mistake. You might forget to convert the units. You might forget to write the units and all that. So I would say numericals and scoring questions you should do first to build up the confidence, and also because these are scoring, you want to really get 100% there. You don't want to solve them during the panic mode. Theory में क्या होगा, जल्दी जल्दी भी लिखा तो maybe some spelling mistake हो जाएगी एक इधर, but at least you're not trying to have logics there, calculations there and all that. So those were the tips I wanted to share with you today. For more of it, like I said, familiarity kind of thing, and this is not required, this is an optional thing, but highly recommend you. So tips and tricks हमने आज कर लिया. So on coming Thursday 22nd November, 90 minutes, there's an extra session here and the price is only 51 rupees. This price is only for getting, like, some students see free भी कर सकते थे. It's more like many students will register as a casual kind of approach and then they'll not even join, right? So 51 rupees is just a symbolic kind of fee here. It's not going to make any money to Vedantu. It's more like just to have serious students here. In this session, what we are going to do is 1.5 hours, we are going to solve past year board question papers, physics के only, biology, chemistry नहीं. So basically we'll pick all the past year question papers, 2 साल या 3 साल, whatever is possible in 90 minutes. All the physics questions I will have been preloaded them on the whiteboard here, and then we are going to solve them. I'm going to show you how to step by step do them, what are the calculation mistakes you might do. Also I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. For most of the questions, I can show you, okay, इस तरह से जल्दी हो जाएगा. Why go the longer route? Because see, in physics, you can have a same question solved in different ways. Some are easier, some are shorter, but then other are lengthier and all that. They're going to take more time. So we could talk about some of the tips and tricks there. So this is again, note down the link here, and by the way, you can go to the same link where you registered for the webinar. After the webinar, this link will be posted there also. So Thursday 22nd November 8:15 to 9:45 p.m. 90 minutes of webinar, 51 rupees. ठीक है, नोट डाउन कर लो प्लीज जल्दी से. एक एक बहुत जरूरी टिप आने वाली है इसके बाद. That is the tip. That is the tip that you really need. And the tip is the key mantra here: I can do it. I mean, this has to go every day, long term, short term, every day. During the exam, before the exam, you can do it. You tell yourself. Okay. Nice talking to all of you. And as I never say goodbye, this is not a goodbye, but see you soon in one of the free webinars, maybe, or in one of the paid classes, whatever. Or maybe next year when you take 11th grade, maybe you come back to study with me. And I would love to see you all here. So thank you, and bye for now. See you for now. Not goodbye, but see you soon. Bye. Nice talking to all of you. It was fun. Bye.